Okay, guys, here's our lesson today on solving two-step equations. This is our new unit. So here we go. We're going to solve two-step equations. First, little side notes. To solve a two-step equation, you solve it by using two inverse operations. So remember, the inverse of adding is subtracting, subtracting is adding. The inverse of multiplying is dividing, and dividing is multiplying. In my opinion, the quickest way to solve a two-step equation is by using reverse order of operations. So if you think of your order of operations, reverse would mean get rid of any adding or subtracting first, then get rid of any multiplying or dividing, and then you can work from there. Okay, so now let's go with our first example, which is 3x plus 7 equals negative 5. So since I'm going to use reverse order of operations, I'm going to get rid of my addition first. So I have my plus 7 right here. So the opposite, the inverse of adding 7 is to subtract 7. So I'm going to subtract 7 from this side, and I'm going to subtract 7 from this side. 7 minus 7 is 0, so I'm left with 3x. So that was my first step, equals. And then negative 5 minus 7 is negative 12. Now I'm going to do my second step. My second step is I am multiplying here. The opposite is to divide, so I'm going to do a divide by 3 here. And I'm going to do a divide by 3 here. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1 times x is x, equals. And then negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. So I get x equals negative 4. And I can always plug it back in to make sure it works. Negative 4 times, or 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Negative 12 plus 7 is negative 5. Okay, let's move on to our next slide. So if you need to pause, go ahead. And in our next example, I'm two-step here. So first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the subtraction here, minus 3. Opposite of subtracting 3 is to add 3. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And then negative 3 plus 3 is 0. That's why I'm left with x over 2 equals. And then 1 plus 3 is 4. Second step is to multiply by 2. And so I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. That's the inverse of dividing, which I'm doing in the problem. This is division. Inverse is to multiply. So the 2 divided by 2 is 1, so I'm left with 1x, or just x, equals 4 times 2 is 8. Try it. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. There's our answer. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go on to the next example. If you need to pause, go ahead. In C, we have a negative coefficient in here. Remember, this is a term. Terms are separated by addition signs. I know that's a minus sign, but that's really plus negative. And if you want, go ahead and make that plus negative. Sometimes that helps us when we make that plus negative and we're working on our problems. You don't have to do that, but that's a negative coefficient. Coefficient is a number in front of the variable. That's our negative coefficient, negative 4. So we got to work with that. Now that's going to be the second step because that's the multiplication. The first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the adding and subtracting, which is going to be the 7 here. Okay, I want to get rid of the 7, which is a constant. I'm going to get rid of that first. So I'm going to subtract 7 from this side, and I'm going to subtract 7 from that side. That's going to give me 0, and now I have plus negative 0 plus negative 4y is negative 4y. Okay, now if I didn't do the plus negative there, that would have been 0 minus 4y. I still need to bring down the negative sign when I write it over there. This just helps me remind you, or helps us remind us to do that. 19 minus 7 is 12. Then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4, because that's the inverse of multiplying. And I get y equals negative 3. Sorry, trying to write with the mouse here is tough. I get y equals negative 3. Okay. If you need to pause, go ahead and pause. Otherwise, I'm going to go to the next example. In example 2 here, writing and solving a two-step equation. Again, we're going to practice our writing equation. So there must be a variable and a number on one side, and then the answer on the other side, and number on the other side. This is two steps. They're going to actually have two numbers on the one side, and they're going to be one either adding or subtracting, and then one part either multiplying or dividing. In this case, we are buying a drum set that costs $4.95. That's our total cost. So I'm just going to put $4.95 over here, our total cost. I like that number on the left, right side. You can put it on the left. So whatever we're doing is going to equal $4.95. What's going down in the we have a down payment here. Okay, a down payment is a one-time fee. So that down payment is $150. That's a one-time fee. You don't pay that every time. So that's just $150 one-time fee. So I'm going to put 150 plus All right, now what are we going to do? We have the remaining 3 equal monthly payments. They're going to be equal. We don't know what the monthly payment is. How much is your monthly payment? That's our variable. So I'm going to do 3M for monthly payment. 150 plus 3M equals 495. That is my two-step equation. So now I'm going to solve it by subtracting 150 from this side, 150 from this side. Oops, forgot the 1. Okay, and that's going to give me 3M equals 495 minus 150 is going to give me 295. Right? I'm sorry, that's bad math. 345. I don't know what I'm thinking there. 345. Sorry, 3M is going to give us 345. Okay, and then I'm going to divide by 3 to both sides. So I'm going to get M equals, remember this is 345. 345 divided by 3 is 115. This is a question, how much our monthly payment? So my final answer is going to be $115 per month. Okay, so I pay 115 per month. That's going to be 230, 345, and then I had my $150 I already paid. Okay, so I take my 345 plus my 150. That's going to get my 495, $495. All right, and that is it. If you need to pause this, go ahead. If you need to watch anything again, go ahead and have a great night. And we will see you guys all the next day.